Today, as you can see, the tutorial is Morticia versus Lily Munster. I thought I'd put these two in the same video because the looks are pretty similar, and you will see that in this tutorial here. So I started by putting on a light foundation. This is the same for both Lily and Morticia. So this is just put on with a wet sponge, and as you can see, it is very, very pale. It's just some Barry M white foundation added to my ordinary foundation, and then I applied the Claire Accessories white powder over the top to set it and make it a bit wider, I guess. Now, neither of these ladies wear blush, so we go straight to the contour from here, and I actually used a MAC eyeshadow for this in the colour Scene, which is a nice bluey sort of grey, and I applied it with the contour brush from Neve Cosmetics, which was sent to me by the lovely Curry of Beauty Chamber. I love this contour brush, it's fantastic. Moving on to brows, this is where they do differ. Morticia just has a standard brow, but it is very dark, so you will see here, this is a very quick clip of me applying the brows for Morticia, and I just used the darkest colour in the HD Brows palette, which is a very, very dark brown bordering on black. And I just filled my brows in as normal. That's the normal shape of my brows. Now, Lily is completely different, and this is where I got to try out the old glue stick trick. So this is my first time doing this, so it wasn't exactly fantastic the way it turned out, but I was pretty pleased with how it turned out. And the bit where you could actually see some of the hair a little bit more obviously is where I actually went over with shading of the eyebrow anyway. But it didn't turn out too bad, it just looked a bit mad. So I'm using a glue stick here to glue the hairs down on the brows. I don't have very thick brows to start with. Then I dried it off and I added another couple of layers of glue. Then with my fingers I patted on the white Claire's Accessories face powder. And I just patted that on over the glue just to give something for the other products to stick to. Then I went back in with the foundation mix and just patted that on with a sponge. And then I took the Barry M white foundation and I just applied that over the top again with a little concealer brush by Real Techniques. And I think this looks quite freaky. It's very unusual not having any brows. Scary. Anyway, I then added some more of the white powder. And I'm using another Neve Cosmetics brush there. It's the diffuser brush. Love that brush too. Again, sent to me by Curry from Beauty Chamber. And then I applied the foundation mix again with the sponge, patting that in there, and I applied a little bit around the nose area where I felt I needed it. Then I went on and took the same brow powder that I used for Morticia and basically started the brows in exactly the same place and shape, no difference there. And then from around the centre of the brow, I then took it upwards because Lily's brow kind of goes up like that in a sort of long pointy line. Woohoo, there they are. So then I moved on to the lips. Now the lips are the same for both ladies again, so you just see it once here, but this is me applying MAC's Damn Glamorous, which is the new matte lipstick from MAC that I got recently, and I applied the OCC feathered lip pencil around the outer edge of my lips just to prevent feathering before I added the lipstick on. And this is just a really, really lovely red colour, and I just thought that this went really well because when I looked at the pictures of Morticia, I would have thought in my mind it was kind of like, oh, it's a really dark red, but when I actually looked at the pictures, it's actually a really quite bright red, and Lily Munster seems to be wearing the same sort of bright red colour, so I just thought it looked really nice with both looks, to be honest. Now moving on to the eyes, this is where both ladies are really quite different. Morticia sticks with the whole monochrome sort of look, whereas Lily Munster goes for a real bright pop of colour that kind of contrasts with the red lip. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the Morticia eye. I really love this one. This is probably my favourite, but it's also the more wearable of the two. So what I did first was I primed my eyes. And I just used a number 7 eye primer here. I love the number 7 eye primer. Just kind of rediscovered it. Then I used the Sugarpill Shadow eyeshadow, which is just a white matte shadow. I thought this would just make quite a nice base for working on top of. Then I took Scene by MAC and I used this iBookie brush by Neve Cosmetics again. And I placed it all through the crease, a bit more heavily on the outer corner of the eye. Next, taking a pencil brush from Sigma, I took Carbon by MAC and I just kind of drew that sort of V shape there that comes from the outer corner of the eye and across. It goes around 2/3 way across the eye, and then I used a Neve Cosmetics blender brush to just blend the colour out, and then I just kept on adding a little bit more black to the corner of the eye just to get the right intensity on the outer edge of the eye. And as you can see, it's kind of like a cat eye shape. It kind of goes out into a V. And then I just darken it up a little bit. And then I took Takeo again and just blended around the edges because I don't like too harsh of a line. Next I went to the Rihanna palette from MAC, and I used the glittery white shadow in that palette. And then I used some Urban Decay shadow here, which is Polyester Bride, which is also a glittery sort of white, because she does seem to have quite a shimmery white on the lid. It's really quite a definite white. Then I took a bit more of Carbon and I just took that in there where the white I felt had gone over it, and I just kind of freshened it all up. Then I took OCC eye and lip pencil in Tard, lined the waterline there, and then I take Black Track Fluid Line Gel by MAC, apply that thinly along the lash line, and then I did a little wing there at the end there, and I didn't do too bad a job. I was actually quite pleased with myself. Next, some mascara. You could add lashes, but I'm terrible at putting them on, so I didn't bother. But it's fine. Looks just perfect. I've got quite long lashes. They're just quite thin. Then I took Diamond Eyes by Sugarpill, which is a shimmery sort of white. I applied it on the brow bone and on the inner corners of the eyes. Moving on to Lily's eye look. This is it's quite basic, but it's really quite dramatic looking. So I lined the waterline again with OCC Tard. I love this. It just doesn't seem to smudge. It just looks amazing all day long, and it's just fantastic. I love this liner. And it's great for your lips as well, which is good because I like to line my lips with black if I'm wearing a really dark lipstick. Anyway, moving on. This is a Sugarpill Shadow. I will put the name on the screen here for you because I can't remember it off the top of my head. But it's a really bright blue colour and it's really, really pretty. And I'm taking that from lash line all the way up to the brow because that's how it is in the image. It looks slightly more washed out in the image, so this is a slightly brighter version. But I figure if you're going to do something like this and do a fancy dress sort of look, you might as well go all out and do a really nice bright version of it. So I just topped up the shadow here and there where it looked a little bit more patchy. And then I took a fluffy sort of brush and I took Takeo, which is the white colour, and just blended at the edges because, you know, I don't like my harsh lines, and I just thought it made it look a little better. Then I went in the corner there with a bit more blue, and then I went back to the brow powder because I found that it kind of faded a little bit where I'd been brushing up against it, so I just topped that back up. And that's it. That's what it looks like. I actually really quite like it. It's really very dramatic. Yeah, Lily's completely different to Morticia. Right, so here I'm using the MAC Black Track Fluid Line Gel again. And I'm lining my lashes, and then I did a little wing on this look as well. Nothing massively dramatic, just quite a small wing, but it just finished it off a little bit because obviously you've got this big block of blue. I just thought a little bit of detail on the lash line would look quite nice. What I did after this, which I forgot to film, was I took OCC Tard and I actually filled in from the bottom of the wing to underneath the eye and kind of connected it just to make it look a bit better. Now this is the same wig from the Wednesday Addams and The Grudge, and it's perfect for Morticia. She just has straight black hair, and there you go. Didn't have to do anything with it for this. But when we move on to Lily, I actually purchased these white clip-in hair extensions. They were £1.10 from eBay for the 2. So that was really cheap, and that was including postage. I got a really good deal there. And I just clipped them in. They're clipped in. I think some people tend to think that they like kind of meet in the middle. They don't. If you look at pictures of Lily, one of them is quite far forward and the other one is just set back slightly. And I think it looks very effective. I really, really like this wig. So I've used it 4 times now. And that's it. The wig has now gone back into the box. I don't know if I'll use it again. But for $5.99, huge bargain. And I hope you've enjoyed these 2 tutorials. I thought I'd put them together, seeing as they are really quite similar in a lot of the elements. And if you stick around, you get to see some pictures of both looks now. Thank you very much for watching as always. I'm going to love and leave you and see you all soon. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Bye.